So today we're going to talk about Australia's current energy crisis. So most of us think of Australia as this resource-rich superpower. We got the coal, we got the gas, we got the iron, but there's a massive blind spot in our backyard right now, considering the tension in the Middle East. Right now, we're actually living on a 71-day timer. Let's look at this roadmap. If the world stopped sending us fuel today, we wouldn't just be running low, we would have exactly 71 days until we have nothing. So we have like two buffers. The first 35 days, that's just the fuel currently on the ships heading our way. They're probably from South Korea, they're from Singapore, and they're from other Asian countries. And the final 36 days is our domestic strategic reserve. Once this clock hits zero, the pumps at our local station will go dry and the trucks will stop moving. Now you might be wondering, why are we so dependent on everyone else? Well, we import 90% of our fuel. Most of it comes from refineries in Singapore, South Korea, and Japan. So basically, we're importing refined fuel from these countries. Here's the kicker, these refineries don't just make oil out of thin air, they have to get their crude oil from the Persian Gulf. They have to depend on Hormuz Strait to get the crude oil. And these Asian countries, they have trouble getting crude oil as well. So if that one tiny choke point gets blocked, which is what's happening right now, these Asian refineries, they'll burn through their own stocks in about a month. And that's basically our first 35 days of shipments. It will vanish. And the interesting thing about Australia is that we're not really oil poor. We're actually sitting on 1.8 billion barrels of crude oil right under our feet. At our current rate, that's enough to keep Australia running for at least 4 to 5 years. But why do we have a crisis? Because these are crude oil, so we cannot really use them and we cannot really refine them at the moment because we've spent decades closing our refineries, and right now we only have two refineries left, one in Brisbane and one in Victoria. So together, they can handle about 20% of the domestic demand. It's like sitting on a gold mine, but you still go broke. So we basically, because we're sitting on a gold mine, but we don't have a shovel. So we have the resources, we just cannot process it. So right now, the government is throwing subsidies to these two final refineries to keep them alive until 2030, but it feels like a band-aid on a bullet wound. So we're really dipping into our stockpiles and lowering quality standards just to keep things moving in the bush. So here's the reality. We got about 2 months and billions of barrels of crude oil we cannot really use. And the question isn't whether we have the oil, is question is whether we can fix the bottleneck before that 71-day timer runs out. Where are we gonna turn for help?